check.
Hold on to the black portion, and then
Okay. Excuse me, can bring this in with
Please make sure you scan the QR code if you haven't done so outside, so we can register who's all here. I got this to work, but
He said he was going to get batteries.
that didn't even come on. Okay, that's okay. It came on.
Mike, testing.
I couldn't get it to come on. Now it is, so we're good. Yeah, I got that.
And there's a mic over there on the
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
But we're gonna mic her, right?
We're going to give her the option. She can either use that one or...
Okay. Does she want a podium?
whichever option.
Okay. Cool. Thank you, Matt.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
So right, you want this one on?
I just used it because I had problems getting this one on, but we don't need it now.
Okay.
Nice.
Are there notes to go with the slides?
No.
Okay.
Thank you for your help.
So it looks like Jimmy's back there if you need anything. I got a blue shirt.
All right. We can start rolling it forward.
Sorry, we're not even 5 minutes till.
Thank you.
This was the right day to do it. What were we thinking with those Wednesdays? Right? Yeah. This is a good change that it looks like.
Not very much.
We have a handheld mic for you all.
Nice.
That works. So the left is advance and the right is go back. Maybe. No, right is advance.
I was a little confused about that, but I was just gonna. That's so good.
Yep. Yeah, well, I would love to do that.
There's plenty of seats down front. I know everybody hates to sit in front, but come on down. Like class, church, and everything else, everybody wants to sit in the back.
When you guys went to Florida then? Yeah.
Okay, can you all hear me? Is this loud enough? Good. Well, what a turnout. There's still some seats down front. Come on down. We like it if it's standing room only, but you don't need to stand. I see loose seats all through here. But what a turnout for our first Tuesday of this academic year. Thanks for coming. My name is Jeff Hornsby, and I get the pleasure of serving as the director of the Rainier Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation here at the Bloch School, as well as the department chair for entrepreneurship and management as part of the Bloch School. So again, welcome to First Tuesdays. I think the switch from Wednesdays to Tuesdays has been beneficial. We're going to do some student group announcements before we get to our main speaker, but I also would like to just give a shout out to our Bloch School faculty and staff that are here. So if you're here, wave your hand. Staff, Rainier staff, everybody. Without them, obviously, we wouldn't be putting these things on. We also want to give a shout out to the Kauffman Foundation and Bob Rainier and his family foundation for their great support of the Rainier Institute and all our cross-campus activities relating to entrepreneurship. I'm going to turn it over to the Women in Business group, and we got a few different student groups that are going to give a little bit of a shout out, a commercial, before we get started with our program. Women in Business.
All right. Hi, guys. My name's Aubrey. I'm the vice president of the Women in Business Club. So we started this club just last spring. And basically the idea of it is that we wanted to create a space where women can come together and be empowered together and work together and really kind of see the ways that we kind of struggle and the problems that we face sometimes and be a great network for each other and also provide great resources and what's the word? I don't know. Mentors, thank you. that was me. Mentors to kind of give everybody a boost in their careers. We are open to more than just business majors, and we are also open to all genders. So everyone is welcome to come attend our meetings and listen to what we have to say and get to know each other and network and have a great time together. So I'll let you talk about it.
Almost. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the events we have planned for this semester. So what we mostly do is we have one event every month, and then we'll bring in speakers and have a panel event. And every event is going to be on a different topic. So we have our kickoff event that's going to be on September 18th. That'll just be a fun get to know you. We have a couple activities planned, and then we also always have free food and t-shirts. So come for that. And then we're going to have our Building Confidence event. So that'll be a leadership, kind of strong female leadership panel. We'll be asking questions and getting advice from our speakers. And we're also going to focus there on some of the challenges that female leaders face. So gaining respect, those sort of things, but how to stay true to yourself. And then we have our Let's Get Real work-life balance for women in business. So we're going to have a very candid conversation about just challenges that women in business face about balancing your work and your personal life. And then we'll have a hot chocolate, just kind of study and chill, hang out at the end of the semester to kind of wrap it up. So that is all. Follow us on Rue Groups, and then our Instagram is also up there. So, yep.
All right. Ooh, that's a little blurry. I hope you guys can see the photo all right. But welcome to UMKC Enactus. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I certainly did with my dog. So today I just wanted to go and talk about what is Enactus, what you guys can do to help us, and more importantly, what we can do for you guys. So continuing on, here's a little introduction. I'm Francesca McCooch. I use they, them pronouns. Currently, I'm the Director of Membership and Outreach, and previously I was a presenter on the presentation team. We got to go to Dallas, Texas. We got top 8 in the nation, and it was a blast. It was a super wonderful experience to have. That's my dog. Her name is Phoenix. And then my majors is biology and chemistry, which is really important because that means you do not have to be a business major to be an Enactus. Continuing on, what is our slogan? We believe in investing in students who take entrepreneurial action for others creates a better world for us all. And so what does that mean? Really what I find that to mean is we find an issue in our community or within surrounding communities, and we try to find a solution that is sustainable and feasible. And so furthering more, we have Generation Green and Cultura en tus manos. So those are two projects that we have right now. But what I really want to influence and talk about is that we want more projects, we want more initiatives, and we want more help in our community. But Generation Green was created to reduce plastic waste in the environment and reduce the cost of teacher expenses in the Kansas City area. So how we did that, pause for dramatic effect, we created the bottle board. And so what the bottle board does is we used Chateau milk bottle cap lids. We melted them down, we shredded them, and it is this, and we can have a cheaper cost for teachers to use in their classrooms. Anyways, so next we have Cultura en tus manos. This was developed in 2020 to empower artisans in Mexico to craft a stronger economic future and to help preserve the country's cultural traditions through art. So we created a website so then people can go and use it, go and help out artisans, businesses can help out the artisans, and just make an online presence for people. But what are we looking for? Oh, the slide. Looking for you guys. So what does that mean? We're looking for people who are passionate. We're looking for people who are creative. We're looking for people who are in the community, who are community driven. And so that's really what we're looking for, is just you guys. Like, you guys are all here for a reason. You're here at this entrepreneurial event for a reason. We want to take that. We want you guys to come with us. More importantly, what can you get from us? So you can get hands-on experience, a place to belong, leadership skills, me presenting, that's something that I learned from Enactus. So all of these things can be collected and gathered from Enactus. So I'd love to see you guys there. Please join us after this meeting. It's at 5:30 tonight till 6:30. Every single week, Bloch Executive Hall 331. That's our RU groups. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Preeti. I'm a vice president of Bloch School Student Association. So this is a council for Bloch Student School Association. It's us as a association for the Bloch School, and so we provide the organization body through which the Bloch School students participate in the decision and policy making, and to provide the SGA and SAFC, and we provide the efficient distribution of authorization, budgeted funds information to the Bloch School. So our purpose is to ensure that the needs and desires of the Bloch School students are currently represented to the administration. So if you are a Bloch School student, you are eligible as a member to join our association. So we are doing a business panel on September 11th. It is like a career prep for the career fair, which is going to happen on September 14th and 15th. So professors from different fields gonna be in this as a panel members, and they're gonna talk about the opportunities after your graduation. And we're gonna have the Top Goal social event in October, and Friendsgiving in November, and community outreach in December. The date's gonna come out soon. So follow us on RU groups. We are as Bloch School Student Association. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amelia Funston. Thank you so much for having me today. And I am the Vice President of Public Relations for Future Business Leaders of America, or FBLA, if you guys are at all familiar with that. So what is FBLA? FBLA is a lot of things. It's a pretty familiar thing. It's a collegiate and a high school organization, and it's a lot of networking, competition experience, which I can talk about a little bit more, leadership possibilities, and a lot of involvement. So networking, you're really with a group of people who are kind of on the same career path or same general realm as you are. So it's a really good way to meet people, as well as get involved with not only UMKC, but also Bloch. FBLA also does spring and fall competitions to where you can choose which kind of category or event that you want to compete in, and you can compete with people all around the country and even internationally. And then there's a lot of leadership possibilities with that. We're always looking for help through our leadership team. And if you are interested, joining the FBLA leadership team is a great way to get involvement and gain some leadership experience. So we do have a meeting coming up in September 13th from 6 to 7:30. We're going to have smoothies, and it's just going to be learning about what FBLA is, kind of the competition aspect, because that is something that people ask me a lot about, kind of what that entails and the time commitment and everything. So talking about that and just learning more about the organization in general, and then expectations that come with that. And then definitely the Spring Leadership Conference, if you guys are wanting to travel, getting to meet people from all around the country. So yeah, thank you.
Hi, guys. I just have a couple quick announcements to share with you. I'm Alex Matlack. I run the eScholars program here, which I'll talk about in just a second. But the first one I wanted to talk about is the Side Hustle Challenge. Last semester, we had our first Side Hustle Challenge, and we're bringing it back. If you have any idea for a side hustle that you may be working on, we want to see a 1 to 2 minute social media video. You guys go ahead and upload it. Tell us a little bit about what it is. You could be dog sitting, babysitting, lawn care. We've seen just all kinds of different businesses that have come through that. Tell us about your side hustle, and everyone in this room will get a chance to vote on their favorite side hustles, and the winners will be picked from this group. There is a few different ways to win money, either by being chosen as first, second, or third place, where there's $1,000, $750, $500 prizes, as well as a prize for each individual school. So Bloch School, Dental School, etc. We'll do prize money for those as well. So please tell us about it. Go ahead and scan that QR code, and we'll continue to remind you about this over the next couple of months. The other thing is the eScholars program. That's a program on campus if you want to start a business over the course of a semester. We'd love to talk to you about it. The program is peer-based, meaning that it's very important that you develop some relationships inside the program with other entrepreneurs, so you have others that are similar to you that you can continue to learn from outside of the program. We bring in lots of mentors, lots of workshops, and lots of you are in the room right now. So you'll see us at the fourth and final first Tuesday doing demo day to present to you what we've learned over the course of the semester. But if you are interested, please go ahead and scan that, and we'll interview you for the program. So with that, I'm going to pass you on to Dr. Hornsby once again.
As you see, we have a lot of activities going on in the Bloch School and in other related areas with Enactus. And a lot of those activities aren't just for Bloch School students, so please get involved. It's one way to get to know the faculty here at the Bloch School and across campus. A lot of good activities and learn about entrepreneurship. One last important announcement. It's a tradition with our speaker series that is now First Tuesdays. We serve pizza right out here after every one of our speaking events. So please take advantage of that. We have plenty of pizza outside, and you can meet other students and meet some of the faculty, and also have some time to come up and maybe ask a few extra questions with our speaker. So that's what I'm here doing right now. So I'm going to introduce our speaker at our First Tuesdays. We got to know Tamara this summer because we participated in the J. Reed and Deed Tech Camp for high school students. And we found Tamara to be a very engaged entrepreneur and thought she might be a good person to kick off the speaker series this semester. So let's introduce Tamara. Tamara Washington is the founder and CEO of Boom Media and Image Consulting, and Boom Effect Entertainment and Sports, which is known as BEES. The native Texan graduated from the University of Houston with a degree in broadcast journalism. Tamara spent nearly 10 years in the television news business, with 7 years at KPRC Local 2, an NBC Houston local affiliate, as an assignments manager and internship coordinator, an assignments editor for the NBC network, and as a content manager for KVOA NBC in Tucson, Arizona. The multifaceted entrepreneur created Boom in 2010 and Bees in 2020. Since then, Tamara has been featured on Fox, NBC, and CNN as a public relations expert regarding various hot topics in sports to corporate downfalls. As a publicist and manager, she currently represents NFL and NBA professional athletes, executives, actors, television and radio personalities, nonprofits, corporations, and brands. Tamara is a member of the NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists, and PRSA, Public Relations Society of America. The business owner has been recognized by Women in Law and Delta Sigma Theta sorority. When Tamara is not working, she is spending time with her family, reading, and traveling. It's my pleasure to introduce Tamara Washington.
Hello? Okay, I probably screwed it up. Hi. I literally just got off a plane. I need some energy. Hello. I wore my kicks. Okay, I'd be comfortable. Okay, I need an idea who I'm talking to. How many of you actually already have your own business? All right. How many of you have an idea of what you want to do? Okay, leave your hands up. The hands that are raised, how many of you are actually working in that industry right now? Ooh. All right. And then how many of you are just trying to figure it out? It's okay. I love the honest people. All right, awesome. So we're gonna have some fun. I need you guys to talk back to me. I know you have a ton of energy. If I have a ton of energy on 3 hours of sleep, it is football season. You guys excited? Your Chiefs kicked the season off on Thursday. Am I clicking correctly, Adam? You got the wrong person to clicker. Click. Oh, right here.
Yeah. There you
go. Okay. All right. Awesome. So today, my goal is to make sure I can help you excel from when you walk out of this room. I want you to take a piece of something and be able to apply it and be able to win. I love the side hustle. Everyone should have a side hustle. When you have your own business, you better still have a side hustle because we're going to get into that. So I have to click it, point it. This is going to be a little challenging today. All right, so it is important that you always remember where you come from. Don't forget it. It will be the reason for your success. It will help you maneuver. It will help you make all the changes you need to make. It will help you pivot in life. It comes down to experience and it comes down to relationships. That's how you become a successful entrepreneur. So this is going to be extremely short because I want to dive into it. So yes, I went to the University of Houston. My major was electrical engineering, good at math, hated science, went to engineering, went to a high school for engineering and went to Rice University. Hated engineering once. I was like, they're boring. I don't care if they make a lot of money. I can't do this. Economics professor kicked me out. He said, you're nosy, you talk too much, you gossip, you're always yapping. Tells me to get out. Cool. Sends me over to a communication school. He says, you make an A in that class, I'll give you an A in my class. I'm like, this is stupid. So I go over to the communication school. What happens? I fall in love. I'm like, oh, y'all gossip for real. And you write stories for real. So, and I got to talk for real. So I got really nervous because I had to tell my father, who was paying my tuition, and my mother that, hey, I want to switch my major to this thing called communications. So I was super nervous, where I waited until my junior year. That's when I switched to broadcast journalism. And who could guess how long it still took me to graduate from college? Anybody? Go ahead. Shoot. Exactly. Because guess what? My dad said I'm not paying for anything more. So I was like, oh, hell. Okay, got it. So we get through it. Because of relationships, I could not get an internship because I was behind. Didn't know what was going on. Didn't know the terminology. I was just like, oh my God, I don't know if this is it. My boyfriend at the time, his brother was huge in politics, knew a lot of people, made a phone call. He said, show up at Fox. You got the internship. I'm like, okay. I get in. They're only taking 10. I'm number 11. Everyone is ahead of me. And they're offering one job at the end of the semester. Who do you think got the job? Who do you think got the job? Okay. So spend the night at the news station. Was there nonstop. I got a part-time job at the Houston Chronicle newspaper. I wanted this. I was going to prove myself. Everyone was ahead of me, but I had a goal in mind. So I get the job, production assistant, start at Fox 26. Then everyone's like, oh, you're cute, should be on TV. And then my TV dad calls me in the office one day. He's like, let me tell you something. Your voice is annoying. You're a very country Southern girl, and you shouldn't be on camera. And I don't know if you know, but the people on camera don't make decisions. I say, oh, I'm a boss. What are boss people at? So he says, hey, go sit on the assignments desk. I think you will actually like it. I said, okay, cool. Fell in love with it. Fell in love with it. So that is when I really started to understand what I wanted to do in television. So that's when everything took off. So I am moving up the ranks fairly quickly. 25 years old, and I now become the manager of somebody who could be my grandfather, and he had been there for 20 years, so he hated me. Then, as an entrepreneur, you always need to be solution driven. There's always going to be a problem. What's the solution? So I noticed that we had a really big problem with the internship program. So wrote a proposal, sent it to my news director. He's like, it's yours. I really don't care. Well, since he didn't care, the numbers told him wrong. So the program I created, we were able to hire interns in Market 10 on air, in management positions, not part-time. So if a reporter in Houston is making average $250,000 a year, and we decide to hire an intern straight out of school, everybody's mad. We don't have to pay her 6 figures. And that what? Save the company money. So this program goes to NBC Network. NBC calls me in. I now become their internship coordinator and also their assignments editor. So I was working in 3 different markets, New York, DC, and Houston. That was my life. So moving on, when you're in news and you want to get up the ranks, I don't know if you know anyone that works in television, but in order to get up the ranks, depending on your position, you have to go to the bottom of the bottom market, the smallest market, the country market. All you covering is cows and horses and things, and then you have to move your way back up. So because, again, going back to contacts, I had some contacts. I was able to go to Tucson, Arizona at the time, which was market 60, about 1 million people. And I became the assignments editor for that market. While I was there, the goal was to be a GM of a news station. That's what I thought I wanted to do. But as I moved up the ranks, I realized it was politics. Literally, the news director will call me in and say, hey, tell Susie, change her hair color red. Well, why the hell would I do that? We need her to quit. So I was like, this is crazy. And that's the softer side of things that was going on. So I made a 2-year plan. I called my parents in my 30s. I'm like, I'm not married, no kids. Can I come back home? I have a plan. I'm going to start my business. Now, mind you, this is where it really starts, okay? You got it? Thanks. So I have no clue of what I'm doing. No clue at all. I have no mentors. I don't really know anyone who has a successful business or what's going on. I don't know numbers. I don't know taxes. I know nothing. But I'm like, I got a business, okay? So I realized I had to create a circle. And okay, first, how many of you feel like you have a really good close circle you can trust? You can talk business, you can talk school, you can talk family. Okay, so I realized your circle, my circle, had to be made up of 3 types of people. The first is having at least 2 people who I look up to. They don't necessarily have to do what I do, but I aspire to be them. They are doing well. They can teach me several things and help me maneuver the world and all the things. I can call them whenever and get advice. Then I needed someone that was on my level. We're kind of going down the same road. We can motivate each other. We can keep each other going no matter what. And then, again, never forget where you come from. Having someone I'm the mentor to, pulling someone else up. Because guess what? If you're pulling somebody else up, it's going to keep you on your toes because they're watching you. So that became my circle. So really quickly, I didn't even put this in my notes. I have to share this with you. This is how bad it was. My friends know I don't have a job. They're like, girl, why would you quit your job? And like, what's the plan? I'm like, I have a plan. And they're like, well, who are your clients? I don't have no clients. So I'm at home and I'm really starting to get depressed. It's maybe 4 months at home at my parents' house. And my friend calls me. He was a Red Bull DJ. And he says, hey, what are you doing this week? And I'm like, obviously nothing. I don't have a job. And I don't have any clients. He's like, well, come to South Padre with me. And it was spring break. And I said, okay, cool, whatever. I go to South Padre and my players talk about me because I don't know all the rappers, Lil Baby, DaBaby, all the people. So all these rappers are there. They're having this concert. And I got really bored. I was like, where's the media? Nobody's here. Nobody's talking about it. So I did what I do best. I start making calls. The media shows up. I don't know that Red Bull executives are there. And they're like, who called the media? My friend says, my publicist. I'm like, fool, ain't your publicist? He's like, my publicist. And I was like, okay, And they're like, wow, do you do this all the time? And he's hitting me and I could barely speak. And he's like, yes, she do it all the time. She's been doing it. I'm like, okay. So they're like, are you staying at the hotel? And I'm like, yes. They said, couldn't you meet in the morning? I'm like, 4. They're like, we just want to talk about some things we have on the table. Okay, cool. So go to the meeting the next morning and they tell me all the things that they have on the table. Mariah Carey, they just going down the list. And I'm like, whoa. And they're like, could you do PR for this region, for the music side, all the things? I'm like, okay, yeah, not a problem. And this is where it became a problem. They said, what's your fee? So one of the guys sitting at the table felt sorry for me and read me immediately. And he's like, oh, we'll meet with her and go over all of that. He really like helped me out because my mouth was open. I was like, I don't know. But he's like, we'll go over that. And I was like, yeah, we can, go over all the details. And the meeting adjourns and they give me all this information. And I go back to the room and I remember I'm like, Chris, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do because I don't know how much I'm supposed to charge. I knew nothing. I was green. So the manager at the time who spoke up for me, he pulled me to the side, gave me contracts that his other PR friends had. It really helped me. And I was like, oh my God, I don't even have contracts in place. He was like, so what were you gonna do? Just take the client on? I was like, I don't know. I didn't have these things. I didn't know these things. So my first client, my DJ friend always says, it was me. I was like, you wasn't paying me. It was Red Bull. So long story short, I basically worked with them on the music side of things. I played the piano back in the day from a guy named Conrad Johnson. If you're into jazz, very famous guy. Jamie Foxx wanted to redo his album. So they put me as lead on that project and so on and so on. And guess what? Again, I keep saying relationships. What happened in the past? It keeps following you. So had a thrill working on a lot of those projects, but then he has the camera rolling. He won't turn it off, so I won't say this person's name. So they put me on a concert with an extreme diva who wanted her entire room pink. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is absolutely crazy. And they said, what about sports? I said, I play sports, basketball, volleyball. I don't mind. I can jump in. I can do that. So we go to Reggie Bush. I don't know if you guys are sports fans, but Reggie Bush was hosting their 6-on-6 high school tournament. And the executives are there. It's my first sports event. And they're like, oh my God, Haywood Jeffries is here. Haywood Jeffries is here. And I was like, oh, really? What do you need? And they're like, no, you're too young. You're a baby. You wouldn't even know. That's when I found out, and I really didn't know. I guess I'm a little slow at some things, but I didn't know they thought I was fresh out of college, in my 20s, didn't know anything. Haywood Jeffries was a Houston Oiler, big receiver, Warren Moon, again, if you're into sports. So I'm getting excited. That's my home too. So I was like, what do you guys need? They kept pushing me out the circle. I went and found Haywood Jeffries, and I said, hey, come with me. He's like, who are you? And I was like, sir. And he was like, you don't even know who I am. I was like, sir, Oiler, receiver, come with me. And he's like, you're like a kid. I'm like, come with me. So he comes with me. He doesn't know what's happening. And I said, yo, Haywood, what's going on? And they just looked. They were like, how did you know? I said, what's the plan? I got this man out his seat because his son was playing football. And Reggie Bush, he wants to watch his son. They had no plan. They're just excited. But from that, guess what happens? Now I'm in sports. Now I'm signing player after player after player. Then I meet the right player. And now I sign the NFL as a client. Again, what we talk about? Relationships, the past, what happens. So, understanding the numbers. This was my biggest mistake when I started my business. I will tell you, I had eviction notices, repo. They didn't repo my car, but they was trying to, okay? I knew nothing because as a young person starting out thinking, oh my God. Well, as an entrepreneur, I don't care what industry you're in, you don't get the same check every 2 weeks like you get in an 8 to 5. You are not, you go in not knowing what's going to happen. You can have a really booming month and bring in $100,000, and the next month can be $20,000, literally that fast. So no one sat me down. No one told me. And again, in the beginning, I did not know who to talk to. So I had back taxes. I was like, please don't take me to jail. Please, what is going on? But those are the things that I went through. And while you're on social and people, you're seeing all these videos and Bentleys, that's not real life. Because if I didn't have the job that I had or represent the people that I did, I will go on social and blast them that you're lying. That's not your car. That's not how it is. You don't make your own schedule. So who thought as an entrepreneur that you make your own schedule? No, sorry. Hate to bust your bubble. Your schedule first revolves around your clients and who you're serving. Because when you start, if you're in a service business, you have to adjust to your clients. And you can't just say, well, you can say, hey, I'm not meeting with you. I'm going on vacation. And when you come off vacation, you're going to not have a client. So you can't make your own schedule. But that is why it's important when you understand the numbers, you can understand how to scale. You can understand when you can actually bring in some help. One thing I got smart about that no one taught me is bringing in interns that actually want to work with a growing company. Making sure you work with people that you guys can actually exchange services with. So having a bookkeeper and maybe, I don't know, you do her waxes for free. I have a patty mouth, y'all. Jeff, don't put me out. But exchanging services to save money. Anything that you can do to get creative, to save the dollar, and to make sure you don't lose is extremely important. So when you decide to take this step, you have to be solution oriented. The complaints are going to come. The problems are going to be there. What is the solution at the end of the day? The other thing I want to say about numbers is I notice a lot of younger people who are starting businesses don't want to go work for other people in the industry. That's the craziest thing in the world. Actually go work for 2 or 3 companies in the industry that you want to work in, because you can understand the problem and you can understand how to fix the problem. You can understand what they're missing and what the customer is not getting. That is the best thing in life to do. The reason I've been more successful than a lot of PR people who been in business probably 10, 15 years more than me is because I worked in TV news. I understand who to pitch to. I understand where the people are. I understand what the goal is. I understand if a reporter is working in Kansas City, what the end goal is. So I'm getting personal numbers. I'm getting Gmail addresses, Yahoo addresses. I don't want the work sale. I don't want all of that. I know how to maneuver. But guess what? I was the internship coordinator. And guess where my interns are? Running the places in the media. Hey, I need a favor. Relationships, relationships, relationships. So mentors are extremely important. If I don't say anything else, mentors are extremely important. How many of you have mentors? How many of you have really been looking for a mentor and you just feel like you keep running into a wall? Okay, so I want to talk to you guys really quick. I know a lot of people in this situation. You have to talk about your ideas and you have to talk about yourself all the time. Why? Because Jeff can hear you and say, oh, what'd you say again? I know the perfect person I can connect you with. Just tell him what your goal is, and he's all in to help you. He mentors students all the time. Sometimes we get in this place where we're like, I don't want to talk about myself. I don't want to talk about myself. But you, as an entrepreneur, only way you're going to be successful, you got to talk about yourself all the time. Like, I was blue and black dress on, and my Jordans, and my blue and black dress on. I'm standing here. I have to keep talking about myself, and I sound really stupid, but I have to keep talking about myself because someone may hear and want to help. So when you're looking for that mentor, you have to keep talking. Also, LinkedIn is one of the perfect platforms to be involved. How many of you are on social media? If you did not raise your hand, your assignment is to be on social media by the end of the day, period. Times have changed. Everything's different. I hate social media, but guess what? Social media pays the bills. Social media makes my clients look good. The media thinks the social media is the Bible now. When I worked in the media, it was a triple source before it can hit the news. Now they don't care if the dog told you, but if the dog said it on social media, it's the Bible. You have to be on social media, and you just can't be on one platform. So depending on what industry you're going in, that's the other reason it's important. You have to understand where your business is and where your clients are. But if you get on no other platform, make sure you're on LinkedIn. Make sure you stay connected. Relationships. I keep talking about it. Relationships are a game changer. The person you see where you're like, well, how did they get in? They knew somebody. And they probably suck, huh? But they knew somebody. They had a contact. They made a phone call. And guess what? My clients, how many of you know Justin Reed? Safety with the Chiefs. Justin will call me for everything because he thinks I have an answer for everything, and I better go find an answer for everything. But relationships will take you to the next level. You cannot do it by yourself. Don't ever get arrogant and think that you're all that, or this is the favorite line I hear. No one's doing it like me. Really? Really? Who's your competition? I don't have competition. Nah, you do. You do. It will be a game changer. Everyone that you're sitting with in this room, 5 years later, they may be the reason you sit at the table. I have contacts that I've had for years. For years. We never did anything together. You don't have to force anything. Just continue to keep the relationship. I'll send cookies, edibles, flowers. I make a marketing budget every month. I don't want anything from these people, but guess what? I know I'm going to need something one day from these people. And so relationships change the game for me and for my clients. So remember the people that you are sitting next to. Remember the people that you're sitting in class with. That's going to be the game changer for you. So, this journey has not been easy, but this journey has actually been really fun. I wouldn't trade anything, any moment building my company for anything. I'm always thankful because I don't believe in failures, I believe in lessons. So the only way you're going to be better is to understand the lesson so you can move forward. With this comes a lot of overcoming. And we're all human. And sometimes we forget life happens. And life happened for me. So, and it happened several times. So the first time it happened, I was working in television news and I was told I had cancer. And I was like, excuse me, Jeff. I said, this is some bullshit. So I was mad. I go through this and it's not fun. We're thinking everything's good. And 10 years later, here he comes, creeping on back. I still have a company to run. Who do you call in sick to? Self. I'm sick. Yes. You have no one to call. It doesn't matter if you have a team. When you build your company, certain clients rely on you and they trust you and they want you, period. And they will let you know, I paid a premium for you. You can train the person that's working under you. You can tell them everything, but certain clients are very demanding and they want you. So I'm hustling. I'm going to radiation and still showing up, taking a nap, showing up, doing all the things. Again, you have to overcome stuff. So while I'm on my hustle, you know, I'm sure y'all see that on social media all the time. Yeah, I'm hustling. That's not cute. Guess why it's not cute? Because I had a mild stroke. Yeah. I was 38. And I was with a client in New York. It can happen to anybody. Because why? I wasn't taking care of me. So this is the part where juggling what you're doing and how to be successful in that business. I'm gonna say the magic word again. It comes back to relationships. I wasn't using my connections and all of my relationships to really put myself in a position for when things like this happen to keep going and to keep making sure the business was thriving. So I deal with that. Then again, my mother says they just need to leave me in the hospital. I'm like, thanks, Mom. December 7th, 2021, they removed 39 tumors out of me. I could not walk. I was rushed to the hospital 3 times. And I live in a townhome and I'm stuck on the 3rd floor, so that was not fun. But yet again, I'm down. And I had just signed a big deal with Amazon. I could not show up. I had to trust my team like never before. I was praying and crying and pleading and begging, don't mess this up. This is huge for us. But for the first time, and I know y'all are like 2021, that was just recently. I still think we're living in 2020. But 2021, it was the first time I really stopped to just trust and let go. Because I was moving where I want everything perfect. This is my brand. This has to be this way, et cetera, et cetera. All the things that we say because we want to make sure everybody knows about our business. But it was really hurting me. And for me, I don't put my faith on anyone. I knew that was God telling me to sit my behind down. So I was down for 3 months. And it was nothing I could do. 3 months, nothing that I can do. So the biggest thing I learned, regardless if I knew before, I knew how to do it in a smarter way. And that was understanding how to pivot when those times happen. Now, it may not happen to you, but it can happen to a family member. I take care of my parents. And so I'm fighting with my mom now about having knee surgery, but I mean, it is what it is. But it can be anyone. You can start a family. It can be your spouse, your kids. It will happen. This is life. And the question is, what are you going to do about it? And what do you have in place to make sure your business is still successful? So being creative, if that's just not your thing, find somebody, make them your partner to make sure you have a creative person on your team. Creativity changes the game because 2020 happened and everything changed. So we're going to talk about that. So the present, and we're going to get into what I just said, the present. So now I have a team of 6 people. We'll contract out as needed. I have a total of 16 clients. They range from 65% of our business is on the professional sports side. And then we have entertainers, nonprofits, corporations, small businesses, individuals. Styles by Boom, and this is why I say we're going to pivot. So Styles by Boom happened during the pandemic. So I lost 40% of my business when the pandemic hit. Why? My clients' money was changing. So they're cutting where they can, and they're like, look, we can't have PR right now. So I call some mentors and I say, what do I do? They say, oh, don't recreate the wheel. Go in your wheelhouse. What are you already doing that you can kick off? And I say, huh? And they're like, Tamara, what are you already doing? Well, since I've been in my business, I've been styling athletes since the start. I was like, oh, okay. Majority of my athletes are on the NFL side. And guess what the NFL does? Oh, you don't have to wear suits anymore. You can just wear street clothes and wear what you want. Sir, you're screwing up what I have in mind right now. Roger Cadell, thank you. So again, went back to my mentor. I'm like, that was my bread and butter. She's like, Tamara, get smart. Well, guess what? Everyone's working from home, and the CEOs who are moving around, they're moving around a different way, and they want a casual look. And guess what? I was the stylist to the CEOs in the casual look. And that is what kept us afloat, because the first thing as a boss, when you have employees, you're responsible for their livelihood. And if that could be the last thing you cut, let that be the last thing you cut. And at a time like this, I had refused to have to let people go. So that's why it was important for me to get creative and figure it out. Boom Effect Entertainment and Sports. So this is my baby. It's just me. I started it 3 years ago, but this all happened 7 years ago. So I had a client, very high profile client, and his agent was stealing from him. Having my news hat on, I figured out what was going on. He had that agent since high school. He was like, that's a lie. He would never. He sent my brother to college. He's purchased my family a home. He would never. The story that most athletes have. Well, what he was doing was, you got hired for an appearance by McDonald's. McDonald's technically offered you $20,000. The agent would call the athlete and say, hey, McDonald's just booked you for $10,000. So guess what he did? He took the $10,000 And guess what else he did? Took the 20% off the $10,000 he paid the athlete. So in news, is nothing we can't find out. And I went looking. My client at the time didn't have any of his contracts, wasn't asking for any of his contracts, wasn't reading anything. The stories that you read, they're true. So we find out, we present it to his agency. The agency lets him go. He's in the news. There are these lawsuits, you name it. And my client had a complete shutdown. He says, "You're my manager." "No, sir, I don't do that." He was like, "No, you're my manager." He did not talk to anyone. And I really didn't know what I was doing. I was like, "Sir, let's get somebody who is skilled." And he refused, would not talk to anyone. So I was like, so I have to really go figure this stuff out, huh? So again, mentors, relationships. I went to Cornell. I got my certifications. And you're probably like, well, she started 3 years ago. This happened 7 years ago. That's how sensitive it was to me. I was tired of seeing athletes that look like me go broke. And if I was going to represent them and be their manager, I wanted to get it right. So that's why Bees did not launch until 3 years ago. And so that is who I am. I gave you a piece of me. And can I take questions? And just take questions? Any questions? And it was, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I was like, all the pressure. I'm the first one for the semester.
Thank you so much, Tamara. We're going to run mics around. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll bring it to you. And then we'll just key it off to the next mic over time.
I've heard before that if you want to make a larger profit on your products, market it to wealthier people. And the reason I bring that up is because you said during COVID you would style CEOs, and obviously they have a lot of money. Do you have anything else to say about that?
Honestly, it comes down to your industry. It works for some industries, and sometimes it doesn't work for all industries. So I believe it comes down to your industry. I am in a position where I'm fortunate to work with really wealthy people that have multiple businesses. So I'm able to still know a little bit about everything, even if I don't know the entirety of it. But also I get to go back to news, and in news you had to know a little bit about everything. So it just comes down to it really comes down to the industry. The restaurant business, I can have a whole argument about. I have several clients that have, the most fancy restaurants to fast food restaurants. I don't know if you guys have read, how many of you know Bun B, the rapper? Yeah, UGK, Houston. Well, he just, if you Google Bun B, he opened a burger joint. He was the #1 burger on Good Morning America, and they just opened the doors, and his profit for the first month was $1 million. And he just has burgers and fries in there. No shakes, no nothing, just burgers and fries. So it's an art to it. He's had every major celebrity you can think of in the restaurant. And for a burger and fries there, I think it's like $13. But Houston is 110 degrees, and the line still wraps around the building. So it really just depends on the market. It depends on the market. And anytime, I will say this, it does work. Anytime you can get a name behind your business sometime, but the right name, you can also get a good boost.
With your whole lifetime, as everybody, get advice. What's the best advice you've received from either a friend, family member, mentor, just altogether that you can think of?
Man, that is a good question. Wow. You got me. I would say the biggest advice that I've used every season, no matter what, is to keep going. I've been given advice during certain seasons. So it depends on what I've been going through. But not quitting and keep going has been the one thing, because everyone's not built for this. And understanding, I won't get too deep in it, but understanding your purpose in life, it's a different passion, and purpose is different. But when you understand your purpose, when you go through those tough times in business, you will still keep going. So I would say that's the best. I know it may sound cliche, but that will always sort of keep you right no matter what season you're in.
Yeah, thanks so much. Great story. Absolutely amazing. I was curious. You said when you left TV, you went home and you had a plan, but I was curious what that business was, because you kind of pivoted into PR. So what was your?
So the business was always PR. I knew I was going to get in PR. What I didn't know was how to get the clients. I didn't have the right structure. Did I have stuff on paper? Yes. And if I shared that with you guys, you would laugh at me, because that was not a real business plan. I don't know what I was talking about. But again, that's going back to not knowing. So the business was always PR. One thing I didn't share with you guys is because of my relationships in TV news, a lot of producers will let me write my clients' packages. And what does that mean? I control the story. Again, relationships, my favorite word. So yeah, those producers, the talent that I have relationships with, if they are covering my client and they're on a hard deadline, or I'm really selling something and I'm like, I want this to be written correctly, they will hand it over and let me do it. And that's from network to local.
How would you suggest overcoming?
Where are you?
Right here, sorry.
Okay.
How would you suggest overcoming lack of confidence when getting into entry-level positions or internships?
I love you for asking that question. So I have a secret for you. I have a twin in my head. Her name's Bonquisha. Okay. So I grew up in a really, really bad neighborhood, didn't have anything. My parents were together and raised me and my sister. And they did everything to take us out of the neighborhood to get what we needed to be successful. And that's another big reason I understand how to be creative and always looking for a solution, because I saw my parents did not look at our situation and just be like, oh, I don't know what we're going to do. So I saw the hood girl with the attitude. She didn't care. She always approached everything with, she's the boss, she has it going on. Well, what you don't know about me is I'm super shy. It is the truth. If my clients was here, when they find out, they're like, oh my God. So I was terrified to talk to you guys, actually. And I called her on Bonquisha, my twin, and I was like, girl, I need you to show up. So she showed up today, and she is usually who shows up in the room. And you have to find that person and it's like, okay, I got this. And it's okay if you go in your car and cry, or in the restroom and cry, or if you go to your girlfriend and be like, okay, girl, just, I need, you You got to have the girlfriend who's going to pump you up. Even when you're having a bad hair day, she got to be like, girl, your hair is fire. It looks good. And, get you all excited. And that's the approach you have to take. You're not going to always get it right. But guess what I found out? If you walk in the room with the ugliest shirt on, but you have the attitude that that's the dopest shirt, guess what? Everybody's gonna be like, where'd you get that from? What brand is that again? How can I get that? They're gonna think it's dope because you have this attitude that the shirt is dope. So it's all about the attitude.
Let's give another round of applause for Tamara. We do have a little thank you gift
Oh, thank
for you coming. And Tamara, you stick around for a few minutes to take some personal questions. Remember, we have pizza outside here. And remember, first Tuesday of every month in the academic year, same place, same station. And we look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for making this such a big success as our kickoff.